How's it going, everybody? So, hope you got my quick PSA on my upload of that chapter. So, last night when I first recorded it, I kept my mug like this throughout the whole video. Couldn't see anything. And then, finally realized it, go back, re-record, trying to show some stuff, and my mug was like this again. But it was great rewatching it because the second time through I did, finally put this back up. It was just the beginning of the video that I talked on and was just showing off some cool makeup artist effects that this talented makeup artist did for the last movie I filmed. I cut that part out and just went straight to the movie, or excuse me, to that chapter, and this story is just crazy. But what I want to throw at you guys now is from this creator named Nexpo. He has 2.74 million people, so that's almost a million more than that chapter, which still to me, Mike should have a lot more. So that's why I keep on saying, I'm going to champion him until he continues to get more people, because he deserves a lot more people. He actually might be the first person I'll ever consider being a Patreon member of. So, if you guys haven't gone and seen his video first, I would suggest checking it out there. If you happen to stop by my channel and you see it here, awesome. I appreciate the views. Appreciate the comments. If you feel like unsubscribing, like one subscriber did, that's fine. I'm not going to hold it against you. I hope you find a channel that'll suit your needs. And I wish you a happy holiday season. But for the rest of you guys, same thing. I hope you guys are staying safe, staying warm. If you're anywhere, near California where the earthquake hit, I hope you guys are safe. I hope, just the best for you and yours. The same for, all the states that were battered by either tornadoes or snow or inclement weather. I mean, I hope you guys are all doing safe, and I hope it's not throwing too much of a wrench in your holidays. I know right now Colorado is supposed to get down to like -20, -30 degrees, which, isn't so much of a bad thing, but, I know it affects some people, and I hope it doesn't affect the power for, the elderly or people who really need it. So, my thoughts and prayers are with them. But with all that being said, Nexpo, he's a really good storyteller, great at what he presents. A lot of true crime, a lot of unknown stuff. This is volume 1 of Disturbing Things Around the Internet. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hopefully this is kind of up your alley, that you guys will find interesting. He has 11 volumes of it. So, if I see some views on this first one, go to the second one, third one, so on and so forth, and we'll go in and feature them. So, again, hope you guys enjoy it. A little bit again about that chapter video that I uploaded. I cut it short, so right now the YouTube editor is saying it'll be up and available shortly. I don't know when that'll be. It doesn't know when it'll be, but it was a quick cut. So if it's playing in its entirety, I apologize, because what I was trying to present, I completely covered up like an idiot. You'd think you would learn your lesson the first time, but no, I didn't. Anyways, here is Disturbing Things from Around the Internet, Volume 1.
Back in November, I mentioned that I was discontinuing my Unnerving YouTube channel and Unnerving YouTube Videos miniseries to a mixed response. I told you guys not to worry, and that's because what you're about to watch is its direct and far improved replacement. Welcome to episode 1 of Disturbing Things from Around the Internet. This is essentially a one-stop shop for creepy finds that I might have stumbled upon recently while browsing online. We'll dive into not only creepy things from YouTube, but from all over the net as well. Today, we're going to dive into 5 hand-picked and disturbing finds from the internet. The recent Hawaii missile scare is one of the most unsettling real-life occurrences to happen in a long time. Back in my Unnerving YouTube videos series, I included an entry about an emergency alert and how disturbing they sound. This is essentially that, but this time, it was for real. Hawaii's residents went into a state of panic following this broadcast, and there were all sorts of goodbyes being given due to the anticipation of all of their lives possibly being wiped out as time ticks closer and closer to the missile's estimated time of arrival, which was said to be just minutes from when the alert went live. Fortunately, this entire fiasco merely turned out to be a false alarm. The footage that residents took during the situation, however, is entirely disturbing. Take a look at some of it.
Missile threat to Hawaii. A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill. If you are indoors, stay indoors. If you are outdoors, seek immediate shelter in a building.
If you're watching this video, that means I didn't make it because of the missile that's coming towards Hawaii. I just parted the last hole and I just hit the shiznik out of my ball.
Doing something you love.
So, I love you all, but I'm playing golf. It's the last thing I'm gonna do.
A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill. If you are indoors, stay indoors. If you are outdoors, seek immediate shelter in a building. Remain indoors well away from windows. If you are driving, pull safely to the side of the road and seek shelter in a building or lay on the floor. We will announce when the threat has ended. This is not
The sheer terror that comes with an emergency alert, coupled with the idea that these residents believed that they only had a few more minutes to live, really puts things into perspective here. Hawaii is such an isolated state, and if there ever truly were an event like this that were to happen, these people would have absolutely nowhere to go. This YouTube video showed up in my recommended feed a few months back, and I've seen it a couple of times since then. It involves a family's venture as a tornado rips through their house. It opens with the husband filming a tornado a short distance away, and after a few seconds, it's evident that the storm is moving straight towards them. He then proceeds with his wife to the closet under the stairs, and the terror that follows is much, much more real than anything out of a horror movie. Look at this.
Holy shit. Holy moly. Alright. Holy shit. Alright, I gotta go. I'm coming, honey. Shit, where you at, hon? God damn, it's bad. Alright, steady. Oh my god. Okay, honey. Oh, Jesus. Stay in. Oh, man. Oh. Shit.
Don't go out there.
No, not yet.
Don't.
Oh. Oh my god. Our house is freaking destroyed, Josie. Oh my god. Where's Autumn? Oh, I've never seen anything like it.
So, 1990, there used to be two newspapers here in Colorado that were big. It was the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post. Denver Post ended up becoming the number one paper of Colorado, Denver, Colorado. But I remember on the front cover of the Rocky Mountain News, they had this picture. Maybe it was just the angle or the perspective, but somebody caught a picture of this huge white funnel cloud that looked like it was just right by one of the big buildings downtown. In fact, it never even touched ground. It was just a huge funnel cloud that had formed. But what did touch ground was baseball-sized hail. Where we were living at the time had large windows everywhere. And I was 10 years old. I was there with my grandmother. And these hailstones just ripped the shit out of this house like if it were paper mache. I mean, every single window just fucking broken out. I remember we were in the basement and my grandma huddled over me. And mind you, she was 74, 75, 4'9". Here I am, 10 years old, about 5'6", 180 pounds. I was a big boy back then. And, she's protecting me. She's an angel. She was an angel and is an angel. But it really traumatized me. I can say that that's probably like the only thing that's really traumatized me, except for, my ex. That traumatized me for life, or what I thought would be for life, because every time it would get cloudy, I would go run downstairs in the basement. And I did this for about a year. And then it just kind of subsided. It went away. And oddly, and I don't know how the hell this happened, but Colorado receives 360 days of sunshine a year, roughly. I ended up hating when it was sunny outside and when it is sunny outside. For number one, when you're, kind of growing up being a fat ass, you hate being hot. You hate being sweaty, and I hated it. The only time, it felt appropriate is if you're playing sports or you're playing football. But other than that, if you're just like, say you're out on a date or you're going somewhere, whatever, and you're like sweating, it just sucks. Like, I hated it so bad. So every time it was cloudy, I was like, oh, thank God, it's about time. And so it completely reversed. And about maybe 6-7 years ago, when I was still married, we attended this church where we had a softball team. And while we were practicing, this funnel cloud started to form. And when it starts turning greenish, like, you need to go somewhere quick. All of us are just staring there like, yeah, we should probably get going and stop filming. And I've been trying to find this everywhere I can, and I cannot find this video. I'm going to find it, goddamn, and I'm going to upload it just so people can see how freaking crazy this was. And it pops up on my memories from time to time, but it's not popping up anywhere else, which is just odd. But yeah, it was freaky. And luckily that day there was hail that fell, but our house took it. We had some, pretty big trees that protected the house. Some of the guys came to my house because I lived closest to the baseball field, softball field. And, yeah, I mean, didn't traumatize me or anything. But when I was a kid, that really, really got to me. So I couldn't imagine enduring something like what this family just endured. I mean, materialistically, you could put, insurance, all that shit's covered, but, thankfully nothing happened to him or his family.
Oh, shit.
The way that they kept their composure after an event like that is absolutely mind-boggling, and if that were me, I don't think I'd be able to stay that calm. The sounds of the tornado alone are enough to put a horrific image into our minds, and the aftermath of their home is nothing short of grim and depressing. This video isn't anything like a movie. It's genuine and unfiltered, and I can only hope that this family successfully recovered. No matter what kind of storm it is, this really is something that can happen to any of us. at any time. This is another Facebook post that went live on October 3rd. A user by the name of Terry made a post asking people if they heard the eerie radio broadcast that went live on nearly every station in Louisiana. She claimed that she couldn't find anything on the news regarding the matter, and that after reaching out to other individuals who posted videos of the same thing, determined that this was happening all over the US. This is what they heard. Now, it sounds like a distorted voice naming off states, and hearing it obviously raises alarm. Allegedly, according to radio broadcast stations, this was an emergency alert test that was sent out, and apparently this happens all the time. The stations claim that it's due to a difference in sampling rate from the raw broadcast to the radio station. If they're out of sync, it causes creepy distortion like you just heard. This is, of course, what the radio stations claim. What was actually being broadcasted, however, is to be determined. This was a very interesting thing to follow. Back in 2015, a Reddit post was made in the conspiracy subreddit by a user claiming that they lived very close to a supposed daycare that had an extremely strange look to it, and in all 5 years of them living there, have never seen a kid arrive or leave. As expected, this struck interest in Redditors, and people started throwing in suggestions for what it could be. Some claimed that it could be a money laundering center, while others suggested that it could be used for child trafficking. There was also, of course, a group that believed that this was simply a real daycare and that there's nothing more to see. Things got interesting though when one user named Deathship commented this: "I'm going to advise you guys to stop looking into this place." This just drove the interest in the building up even more. After looking into Deathship's background, they came to the consensus that he's potentially just a troll trying to scare people. However, that doesn't discount the other comments left by users claiming the same thing that the original poster did: that they live in the area and have never seen a kid come in or out in years. They also went to the Funtime Kids Care website and described it as being super sketchy and plain, with a bunch of stock images and a phone number. When people decided to call it, they were either sent a voicemail or a lady would answer in a very eerie tone before hanging up on them. One other user claimed that it's indeed a real daycare and that they used to be a mail carrier for that neighborhood. However, one part of their response was a little strange. They said that it is in fact full of kids, but every single time that they deliver mail, no matter the time of day, it would always be nap time. Pretty strange stuff, but that's not even the end of it. People took to Google Maps Street View to check out the place, and they determined that the windows to the daycare have been covered up for years and have hardly ever changed. One of the few instances of somebody being outside of the building is one snapshot that a user caught where someone is out in the backyard for some reason or another. This led to even more speculation, prompting people to check out the place in person, which quickly became a large problem. One Redditor claimed that they traveled to visit the daycare, and at night, when they got a glimpse inside, they saw nothing but a chair aimed at a TV, showing surveillance footage of another room. Of course, many other people visited the daycare, even during, quote, operating hours, to try to get a peek into their windows. This led to another large issue in itself regarding grown adults trespassing on a private property to peek into a window of a supposed daycare with supposed children. People even began taking photos of the few children that they saw outside the place. This inevitably led to an even larger issue, so police began to monitor the place and Redditors were urged to stay away. One person managed to get pictures of the inside, and it seemed pretty ordinary. After doing even more digging on the place, Redditors dug up the owner's name, and it's rumored that the building owner purchased the daycare for his mother to give her something to do with her time. Allegedly, she's been running the daycare for years, even though they have multiple violations on their state record. This is, of course, speculation and determinations from Reddit, so take these with a grain of salt. All in all, the general consensus is that this is indeed a normal daycare. A strange, eerie, and creepy one, but a daycare nonetheless. We just dove into 5 disturbing things from around the internet. I hope you guys enjoyed the concept of this, and if you have anything that you'd like me to look into, no matter what it is, for a future installment, please do let me know. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. I love you all, and good night.
More nightmare fuel. Another YouTuber. I love you guys. Love you all.
Welcome back to Disturbing Things from Around the Internet. If you recall, this is my one-stop shop for bite-sized creepy finds that I've recently stumbled upon. Just last month, we covered a wide array of disturbing things, ranging from Facebook posts to Reddit conspiracies. Today will be no different. It's time to dive into 5 more hand-picked and disturbing things from the internet. Back in 2010, there existed a Buffy the Vampire Slayer fan forum called the Bloody Board. It seemed to have been thriving for quite a few years, with posts dating way back to 2004. Jamie Marsters, a play on the name James Marsters, an actor on the show, ran this forum that contained over 40,000 posts. Everything seems fine here, right? Well, the scope of things takes a pretty big 180 when you realize that the forum had only one active member, Jamie Marsters herself. Each of these conversations were simply her talking to herself, and the topics ranged anywhere from fan meetups to the show's schedule. The peculiar thing about this is the math that comes with it. To keep up with the number of topics that were found on the forum, Jamie would have to have posted once every 84 minutes, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 6 years. Alone. No matter her motive, it's just a little strange. Theories have been thrown up that Jamie is a crazy superfan, and others believe that this entire thing was run by a bot. This actually leads to my next point. Unfortunately, in October of 2010, an article called The 7 Most Unintentionally Creepy Places on the Internet was posted by the website Cracked, and as you might have guessed, this board was on that list. What ensued afterwards was an endless barrage of people storming the board, posting vulgarities, pornography, and other unrelated, undesirable content. It's estimated that a total of 36,753 people flooded the place in the short span of 24 hours. After logging in and being surprised with the endless barrage of posts, Jamie ended up shutting down the board, casting it into internet oblivion. It turns out that Jamie had used this forum as a sort of news hub for the show so she could keep up with articles about meetups and conventions. The thing is, how big of a fan do you really have to be to make 40,000 posts to yourself?
Oh my god. you know, it is of my opinion that somebody like that is obviously just not in the right place, meaning, you know, probably introverted, very few friends. I mean, to have that much time on their hands to post that often is not normal.
In July of last year, a Facebook post was made by a user named Kiana who claimed to have had weird things happen to her for a while. She claims that about 3 years ago, I took this photo and realized that there was a face in the background. People said that it was my younger sibling or someone else at home, and it wasn't. Even if it was, I was using front-facing flash, and dark-skinned people like me and my brother don't show up in the dark when using front-facing flash. Anyway, people thought it was a lie, and it never was. Little things happen here and there, like my lights shutting off when I knew I had them on, or things moving right in front of my eyes. I try to ignore them, but tonight, I just so happened to be recording what I thought was a cute video of me petting my cat, and then you see my cat jump. The photo in question is this. If you're unable to see what she's talking about in the circle, I've done some enhancing for you.
Okay, a little different. That's weird.
Now, for the video.
Oh, okay. She's like, fuck the cat.
Whatever you make of this is up to you. In 1978, an Australian pilot named Fred Valentich was flying over the Bass Strait in Australia and ended up disappearing under mysterious circumstances. To give some quick background, Fred held a Class 4 instrument rating with over 150 hours of flight time. He was also known as a pretty big UFO enthusiast. He embarked on a nighttime training flight over a 125-mile span of the Bass Strait on October 21st, 1978. Midway through his flight, he contacted air traffic control about an aircraft that was accompanying him. He claimed that the craft was flying at about 1,000 feet above him and seemed to be taunting him. The disturbing part is, his last words from the transmission were, "It's not an aircraft." A recreation of the flight transcript has been made, and is as follows.
Delta Sierra Juliet, is there any known traffic below 5,000 feet? No known traffic. Seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000 feet. What type of aircraft is it? I cannot confirm. It's four bright, seems to be like landing lights. Can you describe the aircraft? As it's flying past, it's a long shape. Cannot identify it. It has such speed. It's before me right now, Melbourne. How large would the object be? Seems like it's stationary. What it's doing right now is orbiting. The thing is just orbiting on top of me. It's also got a green light and a sort of metallic, like, it's shiny on the outside. It's just vanished. That strange aircraft's hovering on top of me again. It's hovering and it's not an aircraft.
Many theories have been made regarding what he was actually seeing. These theories range from an actual UFO sighting to the possibility of Fred becoming disoriented and flying upside down. The latter seems very possible given the fact that this occurred at nighttime. He could have very well been looking up at his own lights as they were reflected in the ocean. The one thing that unnerves me about this though is the fact that he made claims about it flying in front and behind him, and also that the lights he saw were green when his craft had no green lights at all. The entire incident is intriguing as all hell, and a solid explanation is yet to be given. In 2014, model and fashion designer Lauren Scott was found dead in her New York apartment.
You know, before, I'm just going to say this is just, in my opinion, coincidence. I mean, what else can, I mean, yeah. Unless she did it intentionally. This is just of my opinion. I've seen this one on multiple websites.
She died by hanging herself with an improvised satin noose. While this death is tragic, the incidents that followed were nothing short of chilling. Lauren was known for scheduling Facebook posts and tweets for her audience. After her confirmed death, her accounts were still sending out updates, and her PR team did little to stop it before any sort of backlash. The strangest part about this story lies with her scheduled Facebook post. Hours after her body was discovered, this image was published to her page showing dresses hanging from a tree. It shocked many people and also led them to believe that this was another celebrity death hoax. However, it wasn't. This was very real, and strangely, the image that she had scheduled to upload was, given the circumstances, nothing short of unnerving. There exists a channel that goes by Human Being 15 that has only one upload to date. In this 9-minute video, you're met with what initially seems like a random, ordinary person rummaging through some old notebooks in storage. Things begin to take a strange turn when you realize what this channel is trying to convey. Let's see if you can spot what's off about this before we go any further. As we just saw, at about 2 minutes into the video, the camera panned across a poster that says, "Mr. Diddy, all this hard work I have done for you." The same thing actually happens at 3 minutes and 21 seconds. We then are shown hundreds upon hundreds of other notebooks that this person's got stockpiled in one of his rooms, and at about 6 minutes and 20 seconds in, we're finally shown what's in one of the books. It's the phrases, "Please Mr. P. Diddy please respond," and "Brother Diddy please accept," over and over and over. Human Being 15 then goes forth to show us more of his stockpiled notebooks before the video ends. Allegedly, this video is a re-upload from their previous channel, namely titled Human Being 151. The creator would go by the name Insomniac and had over 1,000 videos showing this sort of behavior. His video titles ranged from things such as "Diddy Dear Diddy Please Read This" to "Diddy TV Official." There were even some that had song lyrics in the title, presumably to somehow gain his attention. According to the site Cracked, which we mentioned earlier, whom at the time had access to his endless library of videos, the content on Human Being 151's channel started with insanity from the very first video and went downhill from there. While the original channel has long been deleted, at least we have this re-upload which tells us all that we really need to know about the kind of guy Human Being was. Obviously, this guy has an indivisible obsession with the hip-hop artist P. Diddy. Why him out of all people? I really couldn't tell you, but this guy clearly wanted to be noticed and went to extreme lengths to get his attention in the most disturbing manner possible.
You know, let me just say this. I've mentioned more than enough times about my foray into the movies and being an actor. And while my very first film is I'm not in it for long. The second one is a little bit different, and then the student film is also a little bit different. Now, I've all the years that I worked in the music industry, I was behind the scenes. So the artists were having to listen to us. So we weren't the ones that were known to the fan base. Of course, we were known to the publishing, houses, to DJ pools, to other executives at record labels, but to the fan base, we were just suits. They had no idea if we were security guards, if we were what, entourage, whatever. With my foray into movies, I don't want to be famous. I have never strived to be famous. That wasn't my goal in the music industry, and that isn't my goal with movies. I had such an extreme love for music that I wanted to find myself being surrounded by it, and finding those cool little secrets that some people might miss, like I guess the best way I could describe it, like a double entendre, when you hear somebody, maybe, and again, hip hop isn't my biggest, I'm not the biggest fan of hip hop, but when you hear something like, a freestyle and somebody uses that double entendre where you basically, it could be what it basically means is, if you guys don't know what it means, it could basically be two meanings. It could be taken one way or the other. And a good example is this freestyle that Eminem did. I don't know, and I don't want to butcher it, but those little things in music, or the way somebody enunciated a particular word to go on to the next, those things fascinated me. I love that, and I wanted to be around that, and that's why I got to be able to do A&R, almost from jump after I got out of my internship, and then, co-executive. And I mean, I was heavily involved in everything. I just didn't sit back and, you know, just like yes, no, whatever, listen to demos. Like, no, I was heavily involved in everything because I love music. And so when you're doing that 24/7, of course, just like anything else, the passion didn't fade, but it's like, I want to do something else. I want to try something different. So when I went back to acting classes and I did acting, and now that I've done films, like, I know the kind of people that are out there, and I know the obsession of people are out there. And there's one video that kind of like showed that. For instance, it was on TikTok, and I seen it through YouTube because I don't have a TikTok account. To me personally, I think that's more for younger people, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyways, there was this girl just absolutely obsessed with an NBA player. What the hell's his name? Russell Westbrook. That's it. And every day she was posting a video, 100 days until I go and see him, all the way down until the day that she's, at the arena. And I mean, I don't know if it had to have caught his attention. I mean, she was a fairly good looking woman. And, after the game, she's all like, trying to get his attention. And he takes off his shoes and he gives it to her. And she's just like holding it to her. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like, you don't know. Some of you guys do know if you ever worked in the entertainment industry. But some people just get so obsessed that it's frightening. I mean, when I listened to a lot of when I listened to that diss track of Eminem and the dude who's dating Megan Fox. I know in his when he first started all that shit, where he says, "Oh, you know, tough talk from a rapper paying millions of dollars for security a year." Shit, he's one of the biggest global icons, probably since Michael Jackson, and you know, I wouldn't. I don't blame him for one single second, and he probably has the same thing for his daughter. You know, security guards, you know, surrounding her wherever she goes. And I mean, there are some really sick, whacked out people out there who think that. I mean, you've heard of the guy who said, you know, who tried to assassinate Reagan, that Jodie Foster, you know, told him to do it. I mean, people, their personalities, mental disorders, whatever, can really throw you for a loop. And like I said, wherever my new ventures lead me, I'd rather it lead to doing something that I love rather than fame. I don't, you know, if it were a child or somebody, you know, just, you know, regular people like, hey, can I have a picture? Can I have an autograph? Sure. You know, I've always been a polite, nice guy. It takes a lot to get me upset. I mean, extremely a lot to get upset. You know, I don't upset easily. You could say pretty much whatever, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. You know, just kiss my ass. I don't care. But that would be weird to have your life just where you're almost, you know, a shut-in because you're not scared to go out, but you know what that's going to cause. So I do have, you know, feelings, and I feel bad for some of these celebrities who, just from their success, you know, this has happened to them. But I mean, God, Lee, I mean, you see, this is just one example of one fan. Imagine the many other fans out there who probably obsessed over Diddy just as much. And so, you know, it's scary what a lot of these celebrities have to go through. Because again, I've seen it with music artists. So.
And there you have it. We just dove into 5 more disturbing things from around the internet. Now before you go, I want to present a challenge to you guys. If you have any disturbing things that you know of for part 3 of this series, please submit them to either my subreddit or tweet at me with the hashtag DTFAI. I'll fish through your recommendations and will credit you as a submitter if yours gets chosen.
I don't know why I just pushed that button. He hasn't uploaded another one after 11 for a while, so I think he kind of discontinued this. I don't know if he got tired of it or what, but it's a very good series. I'll go ahead and upload 3 and 4, see if you guys, you know, like it or not. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and it's kind of weird. I appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, as always, stay safe. Peace out.